Are you serious, Will? Have you heard the stuff that I listen to? Hello, my name's Will, and what I do is I talk a lot about staff safety. Now, in this video, what I want to talk about is just our model that we use or we teach when we're talking to our clients or our attendees of courses to, shall we say, dealing with difficult people. Now, there's no unique model. There's so many different models out there. You can throw a stone and you'll hit any organisation that's devised their own model. We just come up with our own as well because we wanted to reflect it into the clientele that we've got. So we use this model in, shall we say, transport, hospitality. We use it in housing and care. We use it in retail, but we obviously adapt it to meet the actual, shall we say, the clientele or the risk they face. But again, let's have a look at it. So we use a model called Resolve. Now, our model is quite simple. The R stands for relax. Now, we don't mean that you get some candles out and you start meditating, as I always joke about. It means that the more excitable you become, the less control that you have. So we say to our, should we say, our attendees, our clients, look, it's our job sometimes, you know what I mean? You've got to take a little bit of a step back and you've got to realise that you getting more excited is not going to, shall we say, solve the issue. We also say about energy levels matched. And where we come in from that is that we try to encourage our attendees and that to say, look, if you start shouting louder than the people that you're dealing with or engaging with, what can actually happen is you can trigger them to go higher than you. Therefore, then you can get into an argument that you can lose control over. We also talk a lot about stance, the way we're standing, if we're standing square on, if we're standing at an angle. Where are we actually standing with the person? Are we blocking them in? So we go through all these little kind of scenarios that says, well, have we thought about how we adapt our body to, shall we say, reflect the behaviour of not only ourselves, but the person that we're actually engaging with. Openness is honesty. I always try to encourage, please don't start, shall we say, over-exaggerating. Many years ago, people used to say what you want to get away from any situation. But I always say, well, you've got to be careful what you say, because if you say something over the top or totally exaggerated, they might not take it out on you. They could take it out on a colleague. Then I also say, look and listen. Now, I get a lot of comments like, are you serious, Will? Have you heard the stuff that I listen to? Oh, no. And then I try to explain to them, yes, I understand that. But we've got to pay attention. If we look like we're listening to the person, if we're actually looking at a point of where we're showing them respect, there's a high percentage chance that that could, shall we say, resolve that as well. Then we've got to look down at verifying knowledge. I always say, let's ask questions at the right moment. You could have someone ranting and raving at you, but you've got to say to yourself, right, okay, what pinnacle question can I ask this person to get their attention? What can I actually say to them to confirm what they're actually saying? What I always encourage my attendees to do, or the clients, is, well, why don't you use a notebook or something like that? Show the person that we're writing something down. Even when I talk to telephone call centres, I always say to them, well, look, if you basically acknowledge the person, you're taking notes or you're writing things down on the call, people go, slow down, and they listen. And also when you're actually face-to-face verifying with somebody and acknowledging them with your notebook or anything like that, you're actually showing them physically that you're actually listening to them instead of just nodding. And the last, what I always encourage a lot of people to do is empathise. Anyone can have a bad day. You've had a bad day. I've always had a bad day. You know what I mean? We've all said something we shouldn't have said, but I do say, well, let's look at it. But I also do say this. If the person continues to be a risk, that's when we've got to start thinking about walking away. Or shall we say, passing it on to somebody else. And that's a different part of the session that I train. So we encourage Resolve. And again, it's just a short, little, shall we say, idea that we put together using our experience of working in the fields of workplace violence that our clients like. And believe it or not, it has been implemented into a lot of procedures. So as you know by now, I test a lot of equipment, I do a lot around staff safety, and if you've got any questions, please get in touch with us, or if you can, subscribe to our videos because we release one every week on a different part of the subject, especially around staff safety. We're on Twitter, and obviously come and join us on LinkedIn if you can, because again, we always put up stories and interesting facts of things that happen. Stay safe whatever you're doing, and bye for now.